Google Sheets integration in Clay. I think it's actually pretty straightforward. It's much easier than to do one of these API integration things. But I got the question actually twice today, and I just want to show how it's done. So we start with a Google Sheet. That should be the first thing. I don't believe it has to be public because we log in with our Google account into Clay. So I think that this can actually be restricted, which is great. So that's the first thing. And little tip, don't use any special characters in the title. That messed it up once for me. The next, this is actually already good. The next thing we want is go over to Clay. And what I want is, in this case, I want to use Google Sheets as a destination versus my CRM because I don't want to mess up my CRM. This is my use case for this, but like there's a million use cases why you would want to push Clay results into a Google Sheet. So easy, add column, add enrichment, search for sheets. And here we go to, there's add row, lookup row, and what we want is Google Sheets lookup, add or update row, important. Select the account, and then we need the Google Sheet URL. That goes here, and then required input missing because it can already see which tables, which sheet IDs we have in there. And then it's kind of, it only looks complicated, but it is not at all. So what we want is we need a lookup column, which is basically the unique identifier you want to point it to. So you need one column where Clay can see, is this already existing in the Google Sheet, yes or no? And that should always be a unique identifier. LinkedIn URL is great. An email address is good. A name is not so great. So select LinkedIn URL, and then here, this is what I believe looks complicated, but actually is not. Maybe it doesn't look complicated. The lookup value for the lookup column is what we want Clay to put into this column and where to look for it. So in this case, we use LinkedIn URL as a unique identifier, and then we want to point this to where this unique identifier, in this case the LinkedIn profile URL, actually is. That's it. That would already add this. But what we want is we want to add a row if no existing row is found. Otherwise, nothing would happen. And then we want to also update it if in the Clay table there is an update to one element in this row, then we want this to update. And at least in this case, I want to do it. And then basically what you see here, add row values, this is directly what we have in terms of columns in Google Sheets. So whatever you put in here, this is why you should start with that. This is going to show up here as values. And those should also be things we have in the Clay table. So add the LinkedIn URL if it's not present. Add the full name if it's not present. Add Clay Intelligence, whatever that is from a different workflow that I'm building, doesn't matter, but it's the field that I want there. And that is actually here. I want to add that. And then the email, if I have that, then let's add the validated work email. Where do I have that? Here in the end. And the same goes for updating. Maybe it doesn't even look complicated, but I think intuitively maybe you would think that it's not so many things that you have to fill out. At least that was for me the case, but anyways, it's really straightforward. It's a little repetitive. Maybe that will change in the future. Clay Intelligence is here, and email is here. Actually, maybe I should even have skipped that. That's pretty boring. Anyways, run it for whatever, 10 rows. It's only 3. And this should then start populating stuff in here. I'm a little bit of a nerd for formatting, so I want that always in the top left. And here we go. This is the LinkedIn URL provided, the name of the person, and Clay Intelligence is this field that I actually want displayed like this. This is what I want to push here. Super good.